up, Dota 2 fans, and welcome to another edition of Join Dota League Season 4 Playoffs. This is the finals. Finish him! Between mYi Insanity and Moscow 5 International. I am mYi, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster. This is HeflaTV. Shoutouts to Dave Hennedy, my boy. It is his birthday today, so hopefully we can bring him some great Dota 2 action. Odds right now on a site unnamed are 56%, 44% in favor of Moscow 5 International. However, with the last two encounters between these two teams, mYi Insanity was able to take both best of twos 2-0. One in the Battle of Central Europe in late November, which HeflaTV covered, of course, and one in the group stage best of two in the Join Dota League Season 4 Europe Division 1. mYi Insanity took that 2-0 as well. So it'll be interesting to see if they can continue with this momentum. However, there has been a bit of a slide for mYi Insanity in December. 5 of their last 6 best of ones approaching Christmas, they dropped, only beating 4 ASC. They fell to the likes of the makeshift Alliance squad, which was like half Tinker, half Alliance. They fell to VP Polar, basically unknown, Vega Squadron, and Lions, all within the 18th to the 24th of December. So they haven't looked super proficient lately, but all of those teams certainly solid tier 2, if not tier 1.5 teams. So nothing to be ashamed of for the side of mYi Insanity. And they will open up the banning phase with a tied Queen of Pain ban. So I know Queen of Pain has been picked up by Moscow 5 fairly often for Necroman in the mid lane. So perhaps a bit of a respect ban there. Also tied, just a very strong hero. Definitely picked up as well by the offlaner for Moscow 5, which is often Slander. And Brewmaster Jakiro bans are going to come out by Moscow 5 here, but never will you see my face. Face it, you're a loser. Juggernaut, first pick. mYi Insanity. This is insane indeed. And so very indicative of their drafting is their team name here. And mYi Insanity going to open it up with Jug, who has received a few consecutive buffs in the last few patches. So his Blade Dance did get buffed up in the last one, as well as his base agility, I believe. And so the value points in Blade Dance are very good, allowing you to grab up a couple points of that healing ward as well for that early sustainability. And very interesting to see it come out first phase. Cole probably will pick this up. If I'm not mistaken, it could be Milan as well. They often switch between the 1 and 2 roles for mYi Insanity. I haven't seen them play too much Juggernaut though, so we will see how this fares for them. Either way, Witch Doctor will be the first pickup here, and they're going to open up with a very strong support. Also, that physical damage nuke does help through the Battle Fury or Blade Fury. I believe it's Battle Fury of the Juggernaut, and the reason for that is that the Death Ward does physical damage, whereas the magical immunity is what is provided by the Blade Fury. So we will see how effective that is early on. Once again, spending an early phase pick on a strong hero, but not a hero that generally we see considered first ban, first pick phase worthy. But either way, both teams looking to go into their comfort zones, it seems. We'll see what PGG and crew look to couple this Witch Doctor with here. And they'll pick up the Void, so obvious synergy there with the Maledict Death Ward from outside of the periphery of the Chronosphere. And Earthshaker, going to be some instant denial into that Chronosphere with the long-range initiation from the Fisher. Is going to delay out the Faceless Void from being able to dish out his magic or his physical damage toolkit early on, as it will be able to thwart his efforts and perhaps throw him out of position with that Fisher. So very strong support in his own right. Can also cancel the Death Ward, so Earthshaker deals well with both the first two pickups of the Void and the Witch Doctor for M5. So mYi Insanity, a bit of a counter pick there. A nice support pickup early on, not tipping their hat too much, although generally you would expect this Juggernaut to be in a support role here. So we'll see how they continue to work throughout this draft. First pick did go the way of mYi Insanity in this one, so they will forfeit it over in Game 2. And I believe Game 2, they will have first pick and Dire, or first pick and Radiant for M5. So going to be interesting to see how this ends up working out. This one is for all the glory, guys. This is the finals of Europe Division 1 playoffs. So winner on the pedestal, and Moscow 5 did have to fight their way through album sheet to get here. MY Insanity seeded first overall, so they were given a pass right through to the finals, and certainly was warranted. They dominated this Europe group, but as I mentioned, not on the best streak of play recently, so we'll see if they're able to recover here and assert their dominance once again in this JDL Season 4, but we'll see. The Thunder God picked up here for Moscow 5, so more assistance globally with the Thunder God's Wrath, with that Faceless Void, much alike the Sunstrike Chronosphere combo from the Invoker, and also with the Lightning Bolt does have some range from outside that Chrono. Is a pretty weak hero, so definitely does want initiators, like the Void on his side, so definitely not a bad pickup here. They're going to respond instantly with a Doom, and Doom certainly deals well with both the Void and the Zeus. Chronosphere does have about a 0.6 second cast time. Doom cast time is pretty long as well, but there is certainly a chance as the Void time walks in that you're able to Doom him off before he gets off that Chrono, and in that case, they will be able to put a big stick into the team fight. Spokes of Moscow 5, so to speak, by bringing down that Chrono. They're certainly going to rely heavily on this Chrono, as the Death Ward landing is pretty reliant on them getting a fairly good Chrono on a couple of heroes, at least the Earthshaker. And Zeus is very weak in his own right, so he is going to need some of that frontline initiation and lockdown in order to stick around and dish out his entire damage toolkit throughout the fight. So we will see what the pickups are here. Brood Band comes out from MY Insanity. So certainly something that a lot of Tier 2 teams and a lot of teams in general, even Vici in the Tier 1 bracket, are running quite a bit lately. We saw EG run a bit of it with Universe as well. And Slark Band also comes out from MY Insanity. Vengeful and Viper Band. Vengeful, certainly a support that was considered a first pick, first ban phase for a very long time, and is continued to consider that, but that will be banned out here, as will the Viper. So Viper, an interesting ban. Viper Strike with Aghanims is a fairly long range, so it can slow the Void's attack speed in the Chrono if Viper doesn't get Chrono. Also, Viper is just not the best Chronosphere target with that corrosive skin. He is very tanky and slows your attack speed, so is not an ideal target for a Chrono, so fairly good ban there as well from M5 International. And there is really no frontliner for MY Insanity here, but they'll pick up the Lycanthrope. So it looks like Juggernaut could even be run in a support role here, but probably what we will see is a Lycan mid with the Doom in the off lane and the Juggernaut in the safe lane. And that is what I will assume will be the arrangement here for MY Insanity's heroes. Moscow 5 is going to pick up the Sand King. So fairly decent roaming combo. Epicenter works well with Chrono. You can blink in after you channel it and get a pretty much surefire, guaranteed, full pulse Epicenter off on the targets within the Chrono. So that works fairly well. Sand King, certainly a hero that's fallen off, as the weakness of level 1 Burrow Strike is pretty significant in that the range is super, super gimp. So we'll see how they're able to utilize that with the Witch Doctor. Of course, the Cask does have a fairly long range and can allow him to close the distance as well. So Cask will allow him to close that distance with the Burrow Strike. And he also does, of course, have that recovery mechanic into the jungle with the Sandstorm. So that will allow him to recover some farm and pick up a Blink Dagger as well. Fifth pick going to come out here. Skywrath Mage Ban comes out from Moscow 5, so they don't have too much to pair it with here for MY Insanity, so a little bit of an interesting ban. Concussive Shot does help up with the Lycan. Ancient Seal helps out with the Earthshaker damage toolkit, as it is mostly magic damage, but other than that, I mean, Skywrath Mage doesn't synergize extremely well, but of course, it does work well against the Chrono. And so that's where they're banning it out. They don't want the Mystic Flare to be dropped on top of the single Chronosphere target, which would dissuade the Void from coming in and attacking that target, as he would take a crap load of damage. So Tinker is going to be the final ban here from MY Insanity. Very interesting ban from them. And some call me Sheen. Imba Spirit going to be picked up. And the Chen is going to be picked up from mYi here. That's an absolutely crazy draft from MY Insanity. And insane is certainly the word. we would have to use here. Will be interesting to see how do they utilize that. They're going to have tons of push with the Lycan, Howl, with the Chen units, as well as the Wolves here. And we'll see how they are able to deal with it. ZXC, of course, on the Ember Spear will have a good time with all these units once he gets a Battle Fury up. And so that's something interesting to note, that he will be able to clear these waves fairly soon as long as he gets some good farm. It looks like it will be an off-lane Void here with that ZXC Ember Spirit pickup for Moscow 5 International. And that's going to be very interesting to see how that pans out for them. Either way, jumping into Game 1, guys, this is the finals of JDL Season 4 and mYi Insanity taking on Moscow 5 International. I am mYi, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster. This is HeflaTV, and we're just waiting for Zeus to pick up his hero here, hopping into the game as we always do. We'll have an immediate pause, but hopefully we can get this underway fairly soon, guys. We'll introduce the teams once again. HeflaTV, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Moscow 5 picking up the dire side. ZXC playing on the Ember Spirit. We have Slander in the off lane on the Void. Please Go Game, or PGG, is playing up on the Witch Doctor, and Screen playing on the Sand King. So that leaves Necroman, of course, into the mid lane on the Thunder God. And looking at the side of mYi Insanity, we've got Grizine playing towards the off lane on the Doombringer. Cole is going to play on the Lycanthrope. Milan picking up the Earthshaker. Lizard on the 4 position Chen. And finally, Mitch is going to take up that safe lane Juggernaut. So we will see how that pans out. I'm very excited to see some pro Juggernaut play. Juggernaut, one of my favorite heroes, and on the other side, my absolute favorite hero is this Ember Spirit. So we will see if the last of his kind prevails here, or if he will come and learn humility with the Ember Spirit as his foe. So it will be a very interesting matchup. I wonder if they have any dialect between the two heroes, but either way, some very cheeky drafts from both sides. A little more standard from Moscow 5 Int. It looks like we do have Necroman finally joining in here, and we will get this underway. Let's chop some effigies up. In the meantime, what do we got here? Dusky Screen the Tusk Legend. He does play quite a bit of Tusk, and the admins are wondering what the deal is here, and it looks like we will get this underway. Slander Doto has the Skewer queued up and ready here, and everything good to go now, guys. Getting into Game 1 of a best of 3, of course. We'll look at the lane arrangement here. Dragon Sword onto Mitch. Looks like we may see a 5-man rotation towards perhaps one of the runes. There is certainly kill potential at level 1 here. With the Chen and the Earthshaker, that's already a lot of nuke damage. The Fisher into the Blade Fury can certainly garner a first blood, and they all will walk up the cliff hill here. They do have the long range initiation of the Earthshaker. Grizine, Mitch standing on the high ground. Looks like a ward was placed here, so that'll give them some vision as well. And they will wait for someone to rotate down. Will Necroman find them? He does have high ground vision. He's going to ping them out. They're not going to find much. And the Fisher will not be in range to find the Thunder God. So looks like this first man, or pre-first blood rotation will not be certainly successful, but they do have the sentry ward here, so they will look perhaps to body block up this camp and sentry another. Screen is looking around. They did ping out perhaps that ward was dropped, but it was dropped directly into the center of the camp here, so this should be an easy D ward if they choose to do so. No sentries on either of the supports at the moment, it seems. Yeah, no sentries, but they do have the Lightning Bolt, of course, which was skilled at level 1 for Necroman. So unfortunately, that's going to take away some of his last hit capability with the Arc Lightning. But we will see the Bounty Rune top perhaps picked up by Grizine. Actually, the cast going to be used and the Bounty Rune taken. Great play from PGG to start off the game. And Cole on the Lycan going to pick that up in the bot lane. So Grizine denied that Bounty Rune. And Milan taking towards the mid lane on this Earthshaker. So core Earthshaker here. And it looks like support Juggernaut for mYi Insanity. So interesting choice from them. I'm not a big fan of Juggernaut in the support role, but the healing ward does help out with the units from the Lycan, and don't think we'll see too much kill potential in this mid lane. Looks like we do have the Chen postured up in his own jungle, and Screen is already stacking from moment 1 in his jungle as well. Looks like Slander does have some mouse issues, and I'm certainly not depressed, guys. I just came home from vacation. That is so mean. Either way, in the mid lane, we will see not too much kill potential at this point. Cole picking up the Howl level 1. He's going to man up against Slander in this lane. PMS not given over to Slander, but he's got 8 tangles. Will be just fine to man up against Cole here. Opted for a 0-1-1 build on the Lycan. Grizzine in the top lane, taking a little bit of harass here. PGG does have a great base attack damage on the Witch Doctor, so he will be able to put quite a bit of harass into him. Chen on the Lizard, going to smoke up with Mitch towards the mid lane, who has skilled the Blade Fury level 1, and they will wrap around the mid lane here with Milan. He's got a Fisher at the ready, but it looks like they'll go up the cliff towards the top lane, where they may find Screen here with that level 1 Bro Strike. Nope, they're going to rotate around the cliff towards that mid lane. Perhaps they have their smoke popped here. They do have the Stomp, which is offered from the Tomato. And Hellbear Smash are going to rotate around the high ground here. It is daytime, so Necroman could perhaps pop this smoke. Fisher, will it be there from Milan? It is. It blocks him on the wrong side, however. And Milan saving the life of the Thunder God. Easy thwarted gank there for Moscow 5 International. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Howl popped by Cole. Slander going to put some harass into him. Has opted for the 2 levels in time lock now. Is going to salve up as well. Milan's going to Fisher block up Necroman, but he will be able to get around. Burrow Strike should be in range fairly soon. It is there. Couple right clicks. Necroman not with enough mana for a Lightning Bolt, however. They shouldn't be able to finish him off. And Milan backs off to safety just in the nick of time. Meanwhile, more trading happening bot lane. And everything gonna be, all the aggression gonna be stifled for the moment. Things gonna stagnate. ZXC farming very well, 10-3 on the Ember Spear. Cole farming equally well, 10-8 on this Lycan. But Slander has picked up a few last hits, whereas Grizzine, pretty poor on this Doom. Has picked up his level 3, however, so is only barely behind Slander in terms of experience. And Cole doing very well on the Lycan for this 1v1 melee matchup. He does have that hatchet to help out with the last hitting, so... meanwhile, the jungle has been stifled a little bit for the Chen. 5 last hits on him. Should be a little bit more than that at this point. Does have a stack available here that he should stack again successfully. And that will be a triple stack now. So going to help with the economy of mY Insanity. And everything going to stagnate for the moment. Grizzine will run into Screen in the river. Put a couple of right clicks into him. Chunking away at that base 492 HP pool of the Sand King. Doom very tanky early on in terms of his HP pool. He does not have great base armor, but his HP pool is great, so he's very good versus magical damage. Not so good versus physical. Wolves pop bot lane, going to put a lot of harassment to Slander. He's still got 6 tangles, so not too worried about his lane sustainability. Second smoke coming out here from Mitch and Lizard. We will watch them walk towards the mid lane once again. And Milan is waiting at the ready on this Earthshaker. Perhaps he will hit his Fisher properly this time, as Grizzine's actually going to run into Screen here, so perhaps they rotate the smoke here, but Necroman going to run into Mitch. Will he be able to get to him high ground? There is the Scorched Earth available here, and they do block him with the Fisher. Blade Fury, though, is on the wrong side once again. Necroman bottling up again. Thwarted gank attempt. They will run into PGG, but the Hoof Stomp is going to miss here. And Grizzine going to find Necroman. He's going to catch a Lightning Bolt to the face, but he will be able to deny him the rune. So bottle is empty now for Necroman. And small win, I guess, for mY Insanity. However, they do commit their Chen and their Juggernaut once again. Chen not even level 3 yet. Mitch, same story for him. So certainly something to be worried about for mY Insanity. Taking a look at the hero levels, they are right at the bottom of the pile, aside from Screen, who hasn't even hit his level 2 yet. But in that manner, he will be able to recover fairly nicely through the jungle, as he is a Sand King. So gonna be interesting to see how they are able to recover throughout this mid game for the side of mYi, despite committing quite a bit here. PGG trying to find the boundary rune. He's gonna get blocked up. Maledict, paralyzing cast goes out, but there's a test of fate, and the Fisher will come through and block him nicely. The Hoof Stomp should be there as well. PGG gonna feed over first blood. Lizard gonna find that with one right click. And actually, he does bring down the Chen with the Maledict tick as well. So the Chen going down, the trade is over to the Witch Doctor, but the first blood gold going over the way of mY Insanity, and no experience as well going the way of the dead Witch Doctor. So he does pick up a little bit of gold to recover there, but Either way, feeding over the first blood certainly not worth it. And that did give the level 3 to the Juggernaut as well as the Chen here. And Grizine has retreated to the jungle, sacking the offlane. ZXC therefore is going to be farming very well on the Imba Spirit and has picked up his phase boots already. So maybe he opts into a drums build here. Maybe he rushes that Battle Fury. Blade Fury mid lane is there from Mitch for once. And one more right click. He will be able to bring down Necroman, but he will feed over his own life for this. And TPs in are a little bit late from ZXC. Screen will find that solo kill. Almost brings him to level 3. But ZXC is here with the phase boots. There's the Flame Guard and the Searing Chains. They'll tick down the Earthshaker Milan. Big kill for ZXC there. And take a look at the fight recap. Doesn't include quite yet that kill on the Earthshaker, but certainly a win for Moscow 5. They've also rotated down PGG to the bot lane to help out Slander in this lane, who has been dominated by Cole thus far. And it looks like PGG is rotating around. He's going to get scouted out by the Wolves, and they will see perhaps that a ward was dropped deep in lane. Cole will know he's fairly safe for the time being. Void not quite level 6 yet, so when Slander picks that up, he'll be a little bit more worried. However, there is no, of course, Death Ward. And ZXC going to pick up a DD rune top lane. He's got 3 spirits in tow, so can look for a kill here. And Grizine finding some farm in the top lane. He's found his Tranquils. Will have that lane sustainability. Third smoke now from Mitch as well as Lizard. And they will finally look for their Necroman. They did bring him down once, but Mitch ended up feeding his life over for this. And Fisher is in range. He's going to cast the Enchant Totem and look to put a right click here. Mitch is going to find Screen. There is the Thunder God's Wrath there. But they're not sure. They're just going to take a lot of damage. Cole's Lycan goes down bot lane. The Shockwave is there. Screen is going to rotate out through the trees. Fisher will block him off, though, so they should pick off this Sand King here. And there's the Vision comes out. One big Enchant Totem strike. Scorched Earth is there, taking him down low. And he will drop to the Scorched Earth. Necroman's going to get netted up by the Chen. Blade Fury should be able to come through soon by Mitch. It does around the tower here, and they will be able to bring him down. Fisher assists in as well, but actually the last few ticks are not there from the Blade Fury. Searing Chains is going to come out. Grizine going to look to TP away. Lightning Bolt's going to cancel that. Shockwave in the Test of Faith going to bring down the Zeus, but the Spirits will bring down Grizine. Maledict goes out onto Lizard. Lizard should be next to fall here. Burrow Strike comes through, and the Chen goes down as well. So they commit a lot for the Zeus here. They lose Cole's Lycan as well. He's picked up his Vladimir's Offering, however. And PMS as well as the Wraith Band picked up on Slander. So overall, very nice trade. I wanted to say for Moscow 5 Int, but they lose Screen early. So as he rotated back in, I believe there was one more hero lost than was shown, and that was the Lycan. So 3 for 3 across the map. But they will bring down a tower perhaps here. Howl is pop bot lane. The units do come in, but a resummon on the Wolves should spell the death of this tower. Glyph is down now. Slander going to look for a deny. Doesn't make it. Cole going to pick up the last hit there. Mitch not looking to aggress forward with Screen here on the Sand King. And they do have some Radiant Vision here, however. So they know that no one else is in support, but they're not going to look to get overly aggressive here. Invisibility Rune picked up for Milan, and he will have the Echo Slam at the ready. But he should be able to farm up fairly well in the mid. He will have that Blink online fairly soon. Grizine running into ZXC here. They both have their ultimates up, so not sure there's any kill potential on either side. Necroman going to be pinged out here. Smoke from Screen and the Zeus. And they will look to find someone with this level 3 Burrow Strike. So as I mentioned, Gimp range on that Burrow Strike has been rectified as he has looked to skill it up, but is only level 5 on the Sand King. Will they look to run into the Zeus here? Smoke gonna get popped. Burrow Strike is there with the Lightning Bolt, Arc Lightning, Thunder God's Wrath, and Lizard gonna drop very quickly to the combination of Necroman and Screen. They'll Mana Boots up both of them right back to full pool, and Cole will rotate in. He does have the Shapeshift at the ready, but they won't look to take him out. Milan mid lane does drop a Fisher out onto PGG. And Cass going to hit him, but no one else is there. Maledict actually going to whiff. Milan will be able to bottle up. Screen not going to be able to get in to grab him with that Burrow Strike. Meanwhile, Grizine's picked up 1,300 gold. Perhaps he looks to go for this Midas, ever so popular build on Doom. Of course, does synergize well with that Devour. Necroman does have the ult down for 50 seconds. Not sure they can kill off this Earthshaker. 929 health on him. Looks like he's opting for that Blink Rush here, as he does have 2,000 gold in tow. So about 150 off of that at this point. And pause will come out here from ZXC. He's picked up his Bracer, so is opting towards that Drum of Endurance. And Otherwise, we'll take a look at the item progression here. Cole has picked up his Vlads, as mentioned earlier. Also, the Gloves of Haste, perhaps into his Treads here, probably is the most likely build. He could look to build a Midas, but is a little late for that, and he does have a good last hit lead. We take a look at the net worth. He's second overall with 58 last hits, 50 to ZXC. ZXC did find that kill mid lane on the Earthshaker. So we will see actually perhaps a Veil being built into here, maybe just another set of drums for mYi with the Robe of the Magi. He does have the Urn up on the support Juggernaut, will have his Omni Slash up fairly soon as well. Could even be an Orchid for this Juggernaut, not a bad item on him. Grizzine does have 1500 gold, so it looks like it will be the Midas build from him. Slander, not much here, perhaps he's picked up a Morbid Mask. Doesn't look like that is the case, so Slander lacking a bit, 20 last hits. He's, yeah, 4th to the bottom on net worth. So Slander has been shut down fairly well on this FV in the off lane. Milan's gonna run into PGG here. They do have vision of him. There goes the Maledict and the Paralyzing Cast, but the Death Ward not quite in range. He's gonna pop it on the high ground with the Maledict. It will be able to bring down Milan. And nice solo kill coming out from PGG. Screen should also find a haste rune here. Maybe he looks to scout out with that. And we will follow the Sand King. Claritying up is the Witch Doctor. Screen not gonna find Cole to the left, but will opt to go right. Does know that someone is here by virtue of the creeps running away. Thunder God's Wrath going to scout that out. Cole is going to be Burrow Struck, Epicenter channeled up, but he will be able to run away. There's the Paralyzing Cast to keep him in position. Will bounce Tice. There's the Chronosphere as well, but Slander is stuck. Slander is stuck in the trees. And there's the Omni Slash to finish off the Sand King. Wow, what a misplay from this Faceless Void. And Shapeshift also out from Cole. They're going to look to run down PGG here. He'll run through the trees. 2 chops will finish him off for that Lycan. Cole going to find a nice return kill. And Slander going to have to back off. Oh, no. Oh, no. Great trade for mY Insanity. 2-0 going there. Whereas meanwhile, ZXC still free farming on the Ember Spirit. Needs to start getting involved. This 12 to 18 minute mark is where the Ember Spirit is most effective, and then he begins to fall off in the later mid game, and then begins to come back into relevance in the extremely late game once his Sleight of Fist becomes very, very potent. So we'll probably see ZXC start to get active here. You will see him TP back to base, heal up, finish up that bottle, and Remnant back into the lane. Grizzine does have the Doom. Was used perhaps for him to back off in that top lane. Meanwhile, mid lane, Cass gonna go out onto Milan. Burrow Strike not available for another 2 seconds. They do have the Lightning Bolt, however, it's not gonna hit, but the Burrow Strike will finish off Milan. TPs are in from Mitch. Negative Urn Charge, it will tick down Necroman. ZXC rotating in, but they do have the Blade Fury available. Very nice cast from Mitch. He doesn't have, however, a TP to get out of this one. Screen should be able to Burrow Strike him. He does, and they'll finish off the Juggernaut as well. Hand of God gonna be a little bit late from Lizard, and Searing Chain's going to drop out onto Cole as well. And it looks like ZXC will back off. Screen available with a Burrow Strike here. Is only going to hit the one man. Look to back out. Medallion goes out there. One right click. Not going to be able to finish him off. And time walk back from Slander. Away from any potential danger. PGG smoked up in the mid lane. Does have a cask. Is being bottled up here by Necroman. Some free bottle charges off of the TP. Very good, efficient use of that. Cole going to look to farm up some Ancients here. Midas now 12.5 minutes. Picked up by Grizzine. So he will be able to start recovering in farm. Is only 4th overall, 5th overall on the net worth chart. So not too bad. Blink Dagger now picked up from Milan. Echo Slam is down. And he almost got scouted out there by a Lightning Bolt. But doesn't look to jump in quite yet. No Echo Slam available. There is a bit of a cast time on that Enchant Totem, whereas Echo Slam is absolutely instant and uninterruptible. So, of course, you can pop your BKB to dodge it, but either way, you can't interrupt that Echo Slam. So he's going to need that for the Blink Initiation. Does have a double damage rune in tow. We will watch him here. If he does pop that, Fisher going to land onto 2. Hoof Stomp lands as well from the Centaur. And the Glyph is going to be popped on the tier 1 here, but it should look to go down fairly soon with all these units. Lightning Bolt going to go out. Tower going to be able to finish off the Centaur. And yeah, ZXC unfortunately not going to be able to pick that up. He does have 2 spirits ready, but they will look just to defend here. Not farming elsewhere on the map was either of the lineups here. Necrobooks is going to be the build from Cole. He's got a nice net worth lead, 600 over ZXC's Ember Spirit, who is looking to build into that Battle Fury now with only a casual Bracer. Didn't look to finish off the drums there, which many players opt to do so, but he will look to go straight into the Battle Fury, which is very good against all these units. Grizine perhaps going to run into this Ember here. He does have the Doom at the ready. He will not pop it. He'll let him back out, but he will steal away one of those creeps there. He's going to keep the Hoof Stomp for now, the War Stomp, I should say, and he will eat a small creep. Slender is recovering decently in farm. Maybe he looks to opt for a Midas here, a recovery Midas at that. And we take a look at the graphs thus far. 2,500 net worth lead, about equilibrium in experience here. Mid lane though, Blade Fury popped by Mitch. He's gonna have to back off. Slender is in here. Time walk forward. No Chronosphere needed. He'll just slow him down. And the Thunder God's Wrath will finish him off. Kamehameha popped by the Satyr and won't do much. Milan pops his double damage rune. Won't be able to get much done off of it. And we'll just farm up in the mid lane a bit. Hasn't been able to pick up anything, but Death Ward out into the jungle onto Lizard. He's going to be able to fog up. Hand of God. Very nice play from Lizard. Maledict may tick him down here, and it will. Healing Ward is popped. Maledict able to tick him down. PGG going to get Enchant Totem stomped here. There's the Fisher as well onto Slender. Chronosphere is going to pop here. Kamehameha from the outside from the Satyr. They should be able to bring down Milan, however. Echo Slam on 2. Chops coming in from Cole. They'll bring down the Zeus as well. Burrow Strike's going to finish him off. And the Epicenter is going to be dropped here from Grizine, but it's not going to be doing much. Just will back off the lineup of mYi. Very nice trade. 3 for 1 overall for Moscow 5 Int. I should say 3 for 2 as Chen went down earlier. And a very nice swing going their way. About 1,100 experience swing and a 900 gold swing going the way of mYi. And as I mentioned, ZXC not getting involved in these engagements is really a detriment to the team fight of Moscow 5. This is when Ember Spirit is the strongest in the game. This is when that 3 Spirit Bomb does quite a bit of damage. 300 damage at level 1, and now at level 2 does 450 damage just on the start. And you only spend about 150 mana for that. So, really crazy nuke at this level in the game with his entire toolkit. Max Flame Guard as well does a shit ton of damage, as does the Searing Chains. But it looks like he's opting for a farming build with that Max Sleight of Fist. Grizine gonna get caught out here. Cast Lightning Bolt, Maledict. One more Arc Lightning. Even the Death Ward committed here. Thunder God's Wrath will finish him off. One last tick from the Maledict there. And Necroman, PGG, pretty effective on this roaming combo of the Zeus and the Witch Doctor. Not something on paper you would expect to be super potent, but they are making it work. Net out onto Slender. He'll have to time walk away. But Mitch will find the last hit on that tower. Blink now picked up from screen very late on the Sand King, but better late than never on a hero that is very effective with that. And 4-2-2 is a pretty good KDA here, but will Milan find out screen here? Fisher goes out. 1 Enchant Totem Strike, 2 Enchant Totem Strike, and Milan free kill on the Sand King. Not a huge kill, as he does just pick up his blink, so it doesn't stop his item progression in that sense, but a nice solo kill. 480 at 5 experience going the way of Milan. ZXC, no defensive remnant at the ready. Actually, he does have one somewhere on the map. There is a cooldown here. And the Fisher goes out here. He'll be able to remnant away. So yeah, he did have that one, as was indicated there by the cooldown, and was able to remnant away. So very disciplined play from him. BGG going to TP back to base from the bottom lane. Lizard only has found the medallion and a level 6, probably at the bottom of the chart, very bottom of the chart. Yeah, that roaming around early really did hurt his experience gain, and everyone is level 9 at least from Moscow 5 International. However, you look at the rest of the lineup from mYi, and they are level 10 and above. However, Chen very low right now. Necro 2's soon to come out for Cole here, and he's not too far, about 1,000 gold from that Necro 3. Roche has not been touched by either side here, still wearing the Santa hat in his Christmas spirit, but they have not shown him any love. Scream gonna run into Mitch here. Omni Slash at the ready. He will Burrow Strike him first, and will be able to get out of vision before Mitch is able to get that off. Either way, Slander's going to pick up the last hit on the tower. That's a tier 1. Second tower down, I should say, for mYi here. Score is 2-2 in terms of the towers. Entire lineup of Moscow 5 Int in the bot lane, aside from ZXC, once again farming well on the Ember Spirit, 7,600, but you're not going to outfarm a Lycan at this point in the game as an Ember. Perhaps later on, or at least with one Battle Fury, you can maintain the farm. But either way, things going to stagnate for the moment. Battle Fury now picked up for ZXC. Big pickup 18 minutes in for Moscow 5. You perhaps look to accrue a little bit of a net worth advantage now. Still 3k net worth lead going the way of mYi. And they will scout out Roshan here, looking for the Lycan perhaps, but unable to get anything done off of that. And Cole is going to look to pick up his Necros fairly soon. 400 gold away from that. Mitch has picked up a full set of drums, as I mentioned earlier. 600 gold in tow as well. Lizard, no item progression, has picked up his boots and some wards. And it looks like they will amass towards the tier 1 for the side of mYi 5 Int. Lycan Wolf's going to scout this out. Remnant going to the high ground from ZXC just to scout out if anyone is there. And they should be able to take this fairly uncontested. Mitch is going to run forward, however, on the Juggernaut with the Omni Slash at the ready. And everyone will back away from the fear of that. And Lizard does have Hand of God at the ready as well, so they can look to jump this Juggernaut into the front lines with the magical immunity as well as that heal. It does pierce magical immunity if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, so you are able to heal through BKB and things like Blade Fury. So the Chen is very effective. Double damage rune popped by ZXC. He will jump forward with a Sleight of Fist. Going to chunk down Mitch a bit. Cass going to bounce through the lineup of mYi, but it's a little too deep for M5 to commit. And we will see TPs to the top lane from the Ember Spirit. He did leave a Remnant here, guys, so he is able to return to the fray. Mitch going to pop his drums. He'll get forced forward. PGG trying to fog him here, and the Fisher's going to land out nicely. It will be able to allow him to get the Omni Slash off. Free pick off on the Witch Doctor. Well placed by Milan there, giving them the vision. Screen is going to look to farm up this stack here. Pings out in the mid lane to the Remnant. So they ping out the Remnant from ZXC here. And they will look to put some punishment into this tower. Buyback is available for the Witch Doctor here, but Tier 2 is going to be aggressed upon top lane. However, Milan's jumped onto ZXC. He will find him with the Echo Slam. Huge kill for the Earthshaker here. Highest net worth and experience target. And we'll look at the fight recap there. 1,240 experience, 400 gold. Going the way of that Earthshaker. Meanwhile, the rest of his lineup taking down the Tier 2 with relative ease. They know they can't defend it without that Ember Spirit. And no buyback here for ZXC. Perhaps they look to take out that Tier 1 top as well. Tier 2 bottom lane is fairly low, as Cole was chunking down early. Does have his Necro 3s at the ready. And they will look to push out this off lane here for the Radiant side. Going towards the Secret Shop, it seems. Mitch picked up his point booster, so Aghanim's build coming out for the Juggernaut. Very effective on him. Maybe he looks to build into a Mjolnir after that. Blink Dagger picked up from Grizine, so with that Midas Devour, has recovered fairly nicely. 4th overall on the net worth chart. And Chen will pick up his Arcanes now, so that's a nice little pickup for the team. A little bit of extra mana pool. They do have quite a few heroes with mana problems per se. And he will recall back his units to the fray and does have quite a bit of an army picked up here. Milan will be able to deal slightly with this push mid lane. Oh, nice Force Staff back to dodge that Burrow Strike. TPs are in now from Mitch. No Omni Slash for another 15 seconds. He'll dodge the Cask, however, with the Blade Fury, and the Death Ward is popped by PGG here. Jump forward, Doom onto ZXC, and Milan's going to hit 2 with the Fisher as well. Ember Spirit should drop fairly slow. Epicenter comes in, however. Hand of God is used. Grizine still will fall. Ember Spirit goes down first, however, and the denial coming out from the Chen on the Tier 1 there. Milan does not have enough mana quite yet for a Fisher. He will recall back the Juggernaut to base. Mitch should survive for the time being, however. The Burrow Strike goes out from screen. Force Staff to the high ground from Milan. Grizine and the Chen will drop, but they get the Ember Spirit for it, and they deny their tower as well. Meanwhile, Tier 2 in the top lane pushed in by Cole. So big win overall, if you ask me, for mYi. We will take a look at the graph soon after. Necro units and Wolves putting quite a bit of damage into Slander here, as well as the Tier 3. Burrow Strike going to have to be committed to clean those up from screen. And PGG sitting a little bit aggressively here. Pings do come out from mYi, and he will jump to the high ground. Cask is not going to be there. He does have the Omni Slash. He's not even going to choose to use it here. He'll just use the Blade Fury and the negative Urn Charge to tick him down. And with that Voodoo Restoration, will it be able to keep him up? Well, he'll use the Omni Slash to finish him off. So a kill's a kill, and a cooldown's a cooldown, and it's certainly worth it. But meanwhile, mYi trying to TP out. Milan does get the TP out. And in fact, he was recalled as well. Or someone was recalled to the fray. Either way, Lizard is building into the mechanism for the team. And things looking very good for mYi 23 minutes into the game. Since that Battle Fury pickup, nothing much in the way of farm or item progression for ZXC. He fell mid lane to that Doom, and earlier to the solo kill here to that Earthshaker. Mid lane, Blink at the ready with the Echo Slam, but Burrow Strike back from screen. Very good game sense from him. In fact, they do have this ward here scouting things out, so perhaps they saw the Earthshaker walking up in that direction. And Lightning Bolt just going to use to scout the high ground here. as well as the tree line. Not going to find much smoke. Is now out onto PGG. There is no smoke onto mYi, however. And Lizard does have his buckler as well as the headdress now. We'll look to build into that. Perhaps Cole goes toward the Roshan pit. He does have his Necro 3s and 3k gold on this Lycan. Perhaps he looks to build into a Basher. I would expect a Basher Abyssal build here. It's very good against the Ember Spirit, but he could look to just pick up some raw HP with the Heart, or perhaps even the Assault Cuirass to help out with the push and against the physical damage of the Void and the Ember Spirit. AC, not a bad item at all for the Lycan here, and he will probably build into it eventually, if not next item. But he does have 3k gold here, so my guess is going to be a Basher. Ghost Scepter is picked up, however, on PGG. That's a nice pickup for him against the Lycan, as well as even the Doom to an extent and the Juggernaut. Even the Earthshaker enchant totem, but the Echo Slam and, of course, the Fisher are both magical damage. So PGG rotating with a smoke. Jump forward. Echo Slam onto Slander, and the Fisher will finish him off. Haste Rune popped as well from Milan. Force Staff, Hand of God used there. Cask is only going to bounce once. There's the Thunder God's Wrath and the Death Ward, but he's just too quick. Blink forward, though, from screen. One last right click. Sand King will find the return kill onto the Earthshaker. Hand of God, not enough to keep him up. Force Staff just a little bit short of the high ground, but they do pick off the Void, and it is a solo kill. So still a slight swing going the way of M5, but this will allow them to amass into Roshan here and aggress upon him with the Healing Ward, as well as Cole. Doesn't even use his Wolves quite yet. And they will think better of this at the moment, as the Wolves are scouting out screen, as well as ZXC and PGG rotating downwards, and they will be weary of this Roshan attempt. Drop a Remnant into the pit, so good game sense from mYi. Excellent use of the Wolves by Cole. He'll scout that out. Meanwhile, top lane, an army of units is here for Lizard, as well as Grazine accompanying them, but the tier 2 is down at the moment, so they can't find too much off this. Wolves will scout out the pit for now. Everyone will back off and be content to farm from the side of mYi. 3,600 gold still available for Cole here. He's got 13,000 net worth. And looking at the hero level, he is atop the charts at level 15. ZXC is the next closest target from the enemy at level 14. Played for a used by Mitch. He'll be able to back off. And recalled as well. PGG going to have to back off through the jungle here. Lizard is going to get pinged out, and they will have the rotations down from PGG. They will be able to throw the Cask. Here's the Remnant for it as well. Searing Chains is available. They will drop them, and Lizard going to fall to one last Sleight of Fist. However, ZXC going to have to Remnant away. He's got only one Remnant left, and he will be able to get back to safety. PGG, though, is going to be chased down here. Blade Fury will be able to finish him off. Ghost Scepter will be there, but it's only going to actually increase the damage. PGG, please. And they will drop the Earthshaker, however, in the meantime, as Slander goes down as well. Thunder God's Wrath used for that by the Zeus, and he does 1,600 damage there, bringing down the Earthshaker. Meanwhile, Mitch and Cole going to be scouted out in the pit. However, they are fairly strong. Omni Slash at the ready now for Mitch. Will he jump forward? No, he gets Burrow Struck, and the Lightning Bolt is there as well, but he'll have the Magic Stick and the Urn. He'll be just fine for the time being. Meanwhile, we called in the fight. Grazine jump forward with the Hoof Stomp. He's got the Doom. No, he does not. Epicenter jump. Burrow Strike onto Slander's there with the Chronosphere as well. Huge play from Moscow 5 Int. They'll rotate in with the Lightning Bolt as well. Cole going to get bashed by Roshan. Oh, how unlucky he is. And the Roche will go the way of Moscow 5 Int. Huge swing. They bring down 2, get the Roche as well. Immortality onto the Ember Spirit. 2,000, 3,000 net worth swing. 3,300 experience swing. And Moscow 5 looking excellent after that engagement. 10k net worth on both CXC and Necroman, approaching the net worth of the Lycan. And things looking very scary. You see that dip backwards from a 10k net worth lead, and now experience lead slightly generated by Moscow 5. They do have the Maelstrom up on Slander. No Mask of Madness for him. However, Doom committed mid lane onto PGG. Grazine should be able to tick him down with this Doom as well as the Scorch. Just one last right click will finish him off. He'll use up the Midas as well. He will get jump forward. Burrow Struck, though. Lightning Bolt is there. No Thunder God's Wrath available, or it is actually. And Remnant forward from ZXC. They will chase him into the trees. There's a time walk for it as well. Thunder God's Wrath utilized by Necroman, and definitely worth feeding over your Witch Doctor for the Doom. And things looking pretty bad now for mYi. Cole No item progression for him. He picks up a Ogre Club, so it looks like he'll go towards that BKB, but could have fully bought it before dying near that Roshan, and chooses to hold on to his gold for a little bit too long. And now he's only got 1,000 net worth lead over the Zeus. Necroman has picked up a 12 charge Bloodstone, as well as the Force Staff and the Perseverance, so it looks like he'll build into the Refresher next. And he will get scouted out by these Necro units. He's going to get chunked out quite a bit with the Mana Burn, and he is on the high ground. Is going to have to TP out here, as the Shapeshift was used for no apparent reason by Cole. So not the longest cooldown either way. Mitch has picked up a Blade of Alacrity and an Ogre Club, so is only 50 gold away from that Staff of Wizardry to build into his Aghanim. So that'll be a nice pickup. He does now pick it up with that 1,000 gold, and that will be ferried over to him immediately on the Courier. So the Na'Vi Courier bringing over mYi's Aghanim Scepter here for Mitch. And ZXC's picked up his Crystallis now, and with that Aegis, he will be able to play fairly aggressively. Milan gonna get cast up bot lane. Does have the Blink available fairly soon, and some units from Lizard gonna scout things out. Not gonna find much, however. There's the Aghanims as well as the BKB for Cole, but he's letting it go back to base. Cole. There you go, Cole. And Cole will bring over his BKB on the Lycan. So this is fighting shape now for Moscow 5 Int. However, there is an Aegis Remnant dropped in the trees, and we'll see the bot lane cleared out by ZXC here. And with that Battle Fury Crystallis, he'll be able to bring down these units fairly quick. So Lizard's gonna have to be careful not to feed over too much. No one's looking to defend the off lane here for the Radiant quite yet. Grizzline's gonna look to make a rotation over. Screen is postured up in the trees. They also have the Chronosphere here, so if Grizzline shows his face alone, he is susceptible to a Chronosphere Epicenter combo. And despite having 2k health with that Aghanims, and the Ogre Club, he probably will drop as well. He's gonna need that level 3 fairly soon for that very good 3rd level ultimate, which also does disable passives now with that Aghanims upgrade. And just gonna chunk away at the tower is ZXC. He has 3 remnants available as well as the Aegis. TPs are in from Milan. He's going to cancel that. Thunder God's Wrath is going to scout him out though, and it'll scout Grazine as well, and it looks like they will be able to bring down this tier 2. Glyph is available, and it will be used now. TPs are back actually to base from Slander. Sleight of Fist Searing Chain's going to miss on Milan. Fisher goes out. Meanwhile, Slander has TP'd back towards the top lane. Is going to look to defend this, but Mass TP is back. Screen's going to try and TP out in the tree line. Enchant Totem is going to be a fraction of a second late. And nothing going to happen except a free tier 2 for Moscow 5. Very nice from them. They'll place an aggressive ward as well. And things looking very good for Moscow 5 at this point. Necroman does have is fairly close to that Oblivion Staff and Recipe for the Refresher Orb. So it does have enough for the Recipe. It still needs enough for that Oblivion Staff afterwards. And looks like Grazine will build a BKB as well, for obvious reasons. Is good versus the Zeus and the Sand King, but still a lot of physical damage from the Sleight of Fist, from the Void himself, as well as the Death Ward. So BKBs are really not the be-all, end-all versus the damage outputted by the lineup of Moscow 5. And things going to stagnate here for the moment. Time walk down to the shop from Slander. He's not going to find anyone. Perhaps was looking for Milan here, who does have his Echo Slime at the ready. Not sure exactly what he's building into with this Void Zone. Could perhaps be a refresher of his own with that Perseverance. Maybe a Yule Scepter. It will be interesting to see what he makes of that. And Cole going to look to split push that top lane. Meanwhile, Mitch is farming up some Ancients. There's no Dire Vision here. Recall back from Lizard. He's going to recall his units. TPs are back from Mitch. We will look to defend this as Cole TP back as well. And Screen postured up in the trees here on the Sand King. Mitch is going to look to scout him out. Slander perhaps got a glimpse of him around the tree line there. Gem picked up by Lizard on the Chen, and Mitch being pretty aggressive with that magic immunity Hand of God that he does have. But if he gets Chronosphered here, he could be in certain doom. Mitch going to scout out Screen. He'll be able to blink away in due time. Hoof Stomp is going to land on PGG, but there are too many units nearby for Mitch to commit with that Omni Slash. And the Paralyzing Cask actually going to drop these units from Lizard very low. Meanwhile, jump forward Fisher is going to catch out PGG. There is a stop. Oh, the level death going to cancel the TP. Couple more right clicks. Will be able to bring down PGG fairly cleanly. And Grizzy going to find a nice little pick there. Perhaps they do look to go up mid lane with this death. No buyback available for this Witch Doctor here, guys. And so they could look to either, well, Roshan is not up for at least 2 minutes. So perhaps they look to go up mid lane, or they look to find out Necroman, who is just going to force staff TP away. And that'll be everything settling for the time being. Not sure why mYi didn't want to take advantage of that. I guess they don't want to fight into a Chrono. Aegis is not up anymore, but Daedalus is now up for ZXC. And he's looking very good on the Ember Spirit. 13,000 net worth, just below the Midas Devoured Grazine Doom. And he's got 2,800 gold in tow as well. So can look to build a Halberd if he chooses to do so. Perhaps that's why the Ogre Club is there. Can also build a BKB of his own. And nothing on the Courier quite. Yep, it is a BKB for the Doombringer here. I wouldn't have minded a Halberd here. It's pretty good against the Void as well as the Ember Spirit. But Refresher now comes out for the Zeus. Big pickup. That's a hell of a lot of damage. Before reduction, it is 1280 with that Thunder God's Wrath. If he picks up an Aghanims, it'll be a massive amount. So BKB is certainly very good for that, but they're going to have to get them off preemptively. And that certainly is the worry for mYi. Even if they take one of those Thunder God's Wrath, that'll bring down their Chen to 200 HP-ish. I mean, he'll be a little bit more with the reductions there, and he does have, excuse me, the Mech and Hand of God combo to keep himself up. But Mitch, not much in the way of item progression since that Aghanim. 1,600 gold available on him. He's got his Phase Boots, Urn, and Drum as well. Burrow Strength is going to whiff mid lane. Scream going to take a little bit of damage, but fairly tanky with that Veil and the Plate Mail. And Cask going to bounce, but not going to hit up on Mitch. They do have a lot of units to absorb this Cask, so that is certainly something positive for the side of mYi. Remnant is in the top lane here from ZXC, but it doesn't look like he'll be activating that anytime soon. Mitch, once again, standing in the front lines with the Blade Fury. He will be pretty tankable, as a lot of their damage does come from magic damage, but they do, of course, have the Faceless Void. Jump forward, Burrow Strike on 2 from Screen. He won't get Omni Slashed up, as he does have that invisibility mechanism. Scorched Earth is popped here. Will they look to jump forward? Force Staff and Blink Echo Slam. There's the Enchant Totem. Doom out onto Slander as well. Thunder God's Wrath is going to pop. Omni Slash will finish off the Zeus, however. Epicenter bringing Milan very low. Hand of God is there. BKB is popped by the Lycan. Cole going to chase down Screen as well. Slander drops in the meantime. 3 for 2 overall. Double kill going the way of the Lycan. Remnant out from ZXC. PGG trying to run away. Level Death. Blink forward. One last right click from Mitch will finish him off. And that ends up being a 4 for 2 with the last death of the Witch Doctor. Very nice swing going the way of mYi. And a Sleight of Fist Searing Chains combo comes out from ZXC. Refresher. There's the Thunder God's Wrath. Mitch will dodge it with the Blade Fury, but the Doom will drop to it. And Cole trying to run away. Sleight of Fist Searing Chains combo is there. Flame Guard taking him low. One last Lightning Bolt. He'll feed over the gem as well. Big return kill trade for Moscow 5. Not sure if the buyback was used by that Ember Spirit, and it doesn't seem like any buybacks are on cooldown. Yeah, ZXC was actually just able to remnant out to here and rejoin the fray down the mid lane. And wow, what a trade for mYi it seemed. But Moscow 5 recovering very nicely there. And now ZXC is recovered and will look to build into that second Battle Fury. He is pretty much at parity with this Lycanthrope now on the net worth chart. And things looking very scary now for mYi. We're taking a look here, at the graph. 6,000 net worth lead from over 10k at one point for mYi, and a 4k experience lead now for Moscow 5 International. And looking to find some revenge from the last 2 best of 2s. We're 2-0'd, Moscow 5 was, by mYi, both in the group stages here in Join Dota League Season 4, as well as in the Battle of Central Europe. And they will rotate through the jungle now. Slander with the Chrono at the ready. Perhaps will look to find out the Chen, but he does scout them out with that Kamehameha. And he will be able to back off wisely so. Still no level 2 Hand of God. Very underwhelming on the Chen here. And only healing for 200 damage is pretty poop. He will recall back his units here, so he won't feed those over for the time being. And Mitch does have 3,200 gold on this Juggernaut.
As tribute.
So perhaps he looks to build into the Pipe for the team. Maybe he looks to build into a Halberd for the team. That's not bad for him as well. He could look to build into a Mjolnir. It does buff up the damage of the Omni Slash quite a bit. And he will actually build the Blink. So you can Blink during Omni Slash if you don't get combat cancel before that between targets. So it is a pretty good it is a pretty good ability, synergizing with the Omni Slash. Of course, it as well gives you the range of initiation for the Omni Slash if someone is looking to back off without units nearby. So very nice pickup for the Jug. Also does have 1100 gold remaining as well, so we will have buyback at the ready. And at this point, pretty much all of the Radiant have buyback. Just the Chen does not. 50 gold only needed for Mitch. And Ember Spirit as well as the Zeus do not have buyback for a little bit. Thunder God's Wrath is a scouting one here, and it will find the entire lineup of mYi, but they will look to defend this perhaps with the Glyph. Jump forward from Slander. Chrono's only going to land on one. He catches Milan. BKB, Hand of God is popped. Grazine, Omni Slash goes out onto screen, but he'll be able to burrow away. Meanwhile, Slander is being ticked down in the back lines. And he should go down here. He does backtrack one. He will be able to time leap away, and he will get away with the TP. Please go game. Gonna pop the Ghost Scepter, but the Zeus has been dropped in the meantime, as well as Screen. Doom still at the ready here, not gonna be needed. And they actually do find Slander in the tree line somehow. Wow, huge trade going the way of Moscow 5, 4 for nil. It is a disaster for Moscow 5, and what do you know, Roshan available as well. Oh, hey, how you doing? Cole gonna pick this one up. He has opted for the AC, as I mentioned earlier. Very good item for the push, as well as against the Void and the Witch Doctor and the Ember Spirit. So, Medallion gonna be used on Roche. He's gonna drop super quick. 0 to 100 real quick. And Cole's going to have 3,400 gold. He will instantly buy out that AC, ferry it over onto him. They'll have a smoke as well. Perhaps they look to go up mid lane here. Chronosphere, though, is at the ready in 30 seconds, so they're going to have to do it fairly quickly if they do. Not sure why there's an ultimate orb on this Slander Faceless Void. I have no idea what he's building into with that. Scotty's pretty underwhelming, so interesting to see why that point. I guess Lincoln Sphere for the Doom. Yeah, it's got to be a Lincoln's. Searing Chains and Sleight of Fist gonna finish off the Earthshaker. Milan getting a little bit too aggressive there. There is a Spirit ready. Oh, it's gonna be very short range though from ZXC, and they will doom him up. Blade Fury gonna tick him down as well, and this will be the death of the Ember Spirit, who was the highest net worth target in the game. And it's a dominating streak as well, so a lot of gold going the way of the Doom. 2,700 experience. Actually, that was the solo kill there. 2,700 experience going the way of both the Doom and the Juggernaut. 2,000 experience going the way of the Ember Spirit, however. And gold fairly even overall. So, still a nice kill for the Doom. And Grizine's picked up his BKB as well as 30k gold. So, can build a Halberd, can build a Heart as well. Can't build the AC as the Lycan's already opted for it. Will be interesting to see what he goes. He could even build a Pipe for the team. Pipe is sorely needed for mYi, and I guess they will have the Chen build that at some point. He's actually built a point booster though, so perhaps looking for an Aghanim Scepter and getting the Ancients to help out with this will be very good against the Sleight of Fist, which has been able to chop down his units fairly well. mYi gonna push in this top lane. Meanwhile, pushing out the bot lane was Necroman, but he'll TP back on the Zeus. And we will see a high ground push, jump forward, Chrono onto 3 from Slander. BKB was popped early enough by Cole though, and the Sleight of Fist is going to jump through. Milan is going to drop here. He does to the Thunder God's Wrath. Slander going to drop to the Omni Slash, however, and they wasted the epicenter, it seems. Jump forward there, it will not hit on much. Mitch going to be able to get off the Blade Fury. The BKB popped by Grazine as well. He's going to get recalled though before right-clicking down screen. The Lightning Bolt will be there. Cole will feed over his Aegis. Mitch will drop the gem on the deck. Screen is ticking down to the negative urn charge. Cole will be there. He's going to try and bring him down. He's going to get stunned up, however, with the Searing Chain. Screen will be there with the Sandstorm, and so much back and forth in this one. 3 for 1 going the way of Moscow 5 International. The recall on the Doom. He had one last right click to clean up screen there, and a little bit of a misplay from Lizard, and they won't be able to bring down that Sand King, but either way they only get the Void. Very nice chrono from Slander, definitely worth feeding over his life for what they got out of that one. And we will wait on the fight recap, unless I missed it here, to see the swings from that one. Either way, Necroman still has 10 Bloodstone charges, looking very healthy. Picked up the gem there as well for the side of Moscow 5. Very nice pickup. PGG rotating through with a haste rune, and he's just going to get instantly doomed up, and he'll die off to this without even the need of them chasing him down. Nice kill for Grazine. Good reaction time on him. ZXC will know, however, that the Doom is down, is building into a Lincoln Sphere of his own with that ultimate orb ready, and with 2 Battle Furies and a Daedalus, he does enough damage to be able to have a defensive build like this. And this will make Grazine ever the less effective, at least immediately. They'll have to pop that Lincoln Sphere. And they do have a decent amount to pop it with the Test of Faith, as well as the Fisher and even the Omni Slash, but don't want to have to pop it with the Omni Slash. And I'm not sure Lincoln Sphere even blocks Omni Slash. I believe it just blocks the first instance. Excuse me. And so Lincoln Sphere definitely effective versus the Doom, but they do have a few ways to deal with it with the level death as well. And Pack Leader Aura picked up now by Grazine. He's got 5k gold, so will build into a Refresher here. Is picking up the Perseverance, Oblivion Staff, and the recipe is going to come out towards him now. And very nice pickup now for mYi. If they're able to doom off either two of the Void, Zeus, and Ember Spirit, they will definitely win the fight. Barring any big missteps from their team. And Cole, has he picked up much on this Lycan? He has the full AC now, nothing since then, 1200 gold, but he is hitting fairly hard, about 100 or 250 damage. Does have the Assault Cuirass Aura as well, and his Necro Books to reduce some armor. So things looking good still for mYi, still in this game. But ZXC level 24 now, 1700 gold. We'll be able to pick up that Perseverance and then 1300 gold for that Lincoln Sphere recipe. And he will get ever the more survivable now in these fights. Perhaps wants to build into a BKB of his own as well. Not too sure about that one. But it doesn't stop too much from mYi. So BKB not the best build here. Lincoln's definitely more effective versus mYi's lineup. Has Lizard picked up anything? Just that point booster still. Nothing on the way to his Aghanims. We saw the Refresher pick up from the Doom. Mitch has picked up his Blink quite a while ago. 3,400 gold, however, is available for him as well. Perhaps they finally build into that pipe. Milan force-staffs himself into the trees, blinks away as well. He's going to TP away. And we will see recalls to the mid lane from the units of Lizard. Shiva's Guard now picked up by Screen. That's a nice pickup for his team. He's got the Veil as well. He's had that for quite a while. And Grazine, gonna watch him in the front lines here. They're all smoked up. Mitch actually gonna be the one to be out front for mYi with that Omni Slash available. And perhaps they look to find ZXC here. Jump forward from Milan. He's going to scout him out briefly. He'll be able to Remnant away, however. Jump forward from Slander. The Chronosphere is totally going to whiff. Echo Slam on 2 from Milan. Omni Slash will be there as well. Hand of God is there to keep up Milan. Epicenter Burrow Strike, though, will bring down the Earthshaker. Slander is next to fall. BKB pop by Cole. They'll chase down Screen here with relative ease. And it's a 3-for-1 thus far. And running away is the doomed up Necroman. He'll jump into the trees. They won't be able to find him here. But they need the Doom to get in range, and he's actually running away. Necroman should survive this one. He wanted to stay in range because the Aghanims does stay up as long as Zeus is there. Lizard may scout out Necroman, however. Nope, he will be able to back off towards that high ground. But they will be able to push in to this mid lane now for mYi. 3-for-1 going their way. Huge swing. Almost 4.5k experience and 2k gold going their way. With the Necro units, they'll be able to chop down this tier 3 with relative ease. Grizine standing in the front lines with that refreshed Doom at the ready. TPing in is Necroman. He's got it at the ready. He's going to Scorch the Earth up and just back off the Zeus for now, and they'll look for objective gaming for the time being. Mech up on the lineup of mYi. There's the shapeshift from Cole. He's going to get Sleight of Fist, Steering Chains. Grizine going to pop the BKB. Doesn't drop the Doom quite yet, and they will actually look to back off there, so a little bit of a wasted Doom, or a BKB charge. Recall is there from Lizard. He's going to back off Necroman for the time being. Cast going to bounce through on the units. And we'll have a pause for the time being. Basher actually picked up Vladimir. Basher actually picked up here by the Juggernaut. And he will look to build into that Abyssal, which I mentioned before is very good versus the Ember Spirit. And they can definitely, with a Medallion and the AC, chop down this Ember in one duration of the Abyssal. He also has no BKB ready. He does have the Lincolns coming at some point, so that will be pretty good against the Abyssal. But then if they don't get the Abyssal off, they can certainly doom him. And so he does finish off the Lincolns now, does ZXC. And so that will make him ever the more survivable. However, Cole has now taken over once again the top spot on the net worth chart. We'll see a 3-man smoke from ZXC, Slander, and Screen. We'll see if they're able to get anything done. All 3 heroes have their ultimates up. Of course, Ember Spirit ultimate, not quite the best thing in his toolkit. Milan does have a blink at the ready if he scouts them out. He actually does pop the smoke on Slander, who will time walk up to the high ground. Meanwhile, PGG in the mid lane is being ticked down to this Blade Fury and a negative Urn charge. And he will drop to Mitch here. And they do also find the Courier in the meantime. PGG, please. So a nice little pickup there. No buyback available For the Ember Spirit, still on cooldown, no buyback available for the Witch Doctor. He's short of gold, 450 gold to be exact. No buyback available for Slander as well. And this is certainly the window of opportunity here for mYi to go high ground if they choose to do so. There's a Hex picked up as well from Milan. That is a huge pickup. Haven't seen much come out from this Earthshaker aside from the mobility items in the Blink and the Force Staff. So we'll see them probably amass towards the high ground here. Jump forward from Gazine. He's going to pop his BKB. Baits out the Chrono from Slander. It's only going to be onto Mitch. Fisher's going to be there to stun him as well. But there's the force forward Blink screen epicenter. Mitch will get the Omni Slash off, however, onto 2. And Grizine will be here as well. Slander is going to drop Hex out onto Screen. There's the Enchant Totem Strike. Big one. Screen will be able to rotate back. And they will pick off just the Void here for the time being. PGG will respawn. And just one down. They did use the Shapeshift from the Lycan as well as the Omni Slash. Even the Hex was used. Even the Hand of God. So a lot committed there from mYi. But with no buyback available for Slander, they should be able to go high ground here. They know even if he does have buyback that he has no Chronosphere. Milan going to drop a Fisher. Jump forward. Level Death does a huge amount of damage with that Ghost Scepter up. Enchant Totem, one more strike. PGG down without buyback. And they will be able to go high ground perhaps. Vova coming out from Milan. Not sure exactly what that means. Abyssal Blade picked up now as well from Mitch's Juggernaut. And that'll be a huge pickup, especially with the Blink Abyssal. They will look to play it safe, though, from the side of mYi, not knowing the buyback scenarios. Basher picked up by the Lycan as well, so he'll have an Abyssal of his own fairly shortly. He's 1,200 gold away from that Relic. And they will be able to bring down this Roshan very quickly. You see how quickly the Juggernaut chunks away at it. With adding Cole to the fray now, they will be able to bring this down in absolute milliseconds. We will see where the Aegis goes. It goes to the Doom. Cheese on the deck for the time being. So perhaps they give it over to Chen. Milan going to pick that up on the Earthshaker. And that will be nice if he's able to get off a couple of Enchant Totems or even a second Hex. With a 35-second cooldown, though, that'll be a little bit more difficult. They'll have to have quite a drawn-out engagement. Lane Ward is here from Moscow 5 International. So they do see that the Chen is not with them, at least in vision. And they see exactly where Milan is hiding. There's the dire vision for you. They can see the Earthshaker and jump forward. Slander gets off a Chrono onto 2. Jump forward though. BKB onto ZXC. They'll doom him up. Epicenter is short for the time being. Omni Slash going to get off once again. And it looks like Slander will be the first to drop again. Grizine going to bring down Necroman as he's doomed up. Milan going to use the cheese to stay up. They'll bring down the Zeus as well. Slander's going to go down. He's going to get an instant buyback from Necroman. They'll bring down the Rax, however, and back off. Two-man Burrow Strike from Screen. Fisher's going to go out onto 3 from Milan, though. And he will not be able to get much health off. They will bring down the tier 3 top. Hand of God going to go up, bring them up. Blink forward, Abyssal by Mitch onto Screen. He'll be able to burrow back forward and jump forward. Enchant Totem Strike is there, but the cast going to bounce through. Screen still surviving. One last right click from Milan will get him down. Fisher out onto 2 from Milan. He'll probably get Maledicted down. He's getting recalled back to the base, but he will die. And looks like Lizard will be next to fall. However, they get 2 lanes of Rax. Meanwhile, they're taking down the tier 3 bot lane with the Howl Pop. Cole is there with Milan, Mitch, and Grazine. Instant buyback from the Earthshaker. He'll rejoin the fray here. He's got the boots to travel up. They'll get Mega Creeps. And meanwhile, PGG and Lizard having a little duel. As GG is called in Game 1. mYi, the slight underdogs, 44% underdogs. Continuing to prove history repeats itself, as the last 2 best of 2s between these teams went 2-0 to mYi. And nice to meet you coming out from Milan and Lizard. I am Morris Pease, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. This was Game 1 of a best of 3 JDL Season 4 Europe Division 1 Finals. We will have Game 2 coming up fairly shortly. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. And we will have the next game coming up, hopefully, for you M5 fanboys. They will be able to redeem themselves in Game 2 and take this to a deciding Game 3. This one's for all the marbles. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll be back shortly.